to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras!
Happy Mardi Gras!
Welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight we are joined by two very colorful and lovely ladies from the Krewe Des Fleurs. How are you this evening?
Great, so excited.
So tell us a little bit about the origins of the crew. How did y'all come to be?
Yes, so our crew was founded in 2014, but first paraded in 2015 with Crew Delusion, and then I think Iris right after that. But our crew was founded by Laura Dean Shapiro, who had this vision where members could explore their creative sides on their own, but also put together this unified show. And so thus we have this magical moving garden that you see coming down the route. Laura also really loved parade float flowers, so that was the inspiration from nature. And she also, like we all are now, was very concerned about the waste that comes with Mardi Gras sometimes. And so from the beginning, our crew was all about sustainability. And so we're very proud to still be environmentally sustainable.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know actually just this past weekend, y'all had a very special event. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure.
We did.
Yeah. So each year we do a debut where we show the world our flower that we've worked on all year. We take them out for a spin, make sure they're not falling apart, take a bunch of pictures, get to spend time with each other without all the chaos that the parade route brings.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we invite the public. We have gardeners that help us. They come along as well. So it's a pretty big event.
Oh, that's awesome.
So how early do you have to plant your flower for it to bloom? For that specific day. Because
I love
that
that.
takes
I
a
love
lot
that
of time.
analogy.
Yeah, I love that. So we usually decide on the flower sometime in March or April. Then we get with our designer. We usually have a designer in mind already and work through the logistics of what we want it to look like. They come back with drawings, do a prototype. That takes a couple of months. And then usually by July, August at the latest, we start building. And we do that in 3 or 4 sessions over weekends. This year we did something a little different that was nice. We half of our members didn't build and helped new members. So that kind of helped get to know each other a little more and bring it down a little.
Okay.
Well, those y'all all have kind of a different thing going on. I guess with you seem very colorful. You're blue.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You seem happy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does seem like a cohesive unit. Do you have like a yearly theme, or is it how you feel?
It's the varietal each year, so we pick a different varietal. This year, it's the lily that Leslie is wearing. So I believe this is a renovated version, a revised version of the original gilded lily, which I think was the first flower that the crew created back in 2014, 2015. But you're right, and actually I inherited this rose from another member who moved away. So that's another really neat part of the crew to me, is that we pass these flowers down, and oftentimes we rehab them or repaint them, so there's no waste, and we get to give the flowers another life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So,
There's no rules to what the base of it is a blank canvas, and then each member uses fabric or paint or embellishes however they wish.
So, you'd mentioned that y'all have like designers that help y'all. I mean, one can't help but notice that, your flower's very similarly made to, like you were saying in the beginning, one of the flowers that you would see on a float.
Right.
Is y'all's designer somebody who, I guess, worked in
Yes.
the carnival design world?
We are lucky enough to have a member who also happens to be a Mardi Gras float painter, and we take advantage of that greatly.
Yeah.
So we hire her to come up with the design, and because she's a member, she understands what it takes and what it feels like and what we need out of it. So it's been a pretty good marriage between us. And her name is Lindsay DeBlue.
Okay. Y'all are marching in a couple of parades this year.
We are.
What parades are y'all participating in?
We're in 3. We're in Crew of Cleopatra, and then Iris, and then Orpheus, and we're super excited.
Okay.
Fit right in with the Orpheus. Orpheus is very
Yeah,
flowery.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I mean, what better one?
Yeah,
Iris,
Iris,
you know, I
yeah.
mean,
Right.
So Iris was our first real parade,
okay.
and we lead the way for the captain's float.
Oh,
so
that's
we
real
get
cool.
to feel like royalty going down the route. Everyone's very excited to see us.
So I know that some of the crews, the marching crews will have a like a little signature token that they'll give out. Do y'all do something like that?
We do. We have 3.
Okay.
3 of those. So the first thing we do is seeds as beads, and those are wildflowers in paper that we recycle from. We have a lot of teachers, so
Okay.
we make envelopes, and those have the instructions on how to plant those seeds. Instead of throwing beads, they're seeds as beads. We have wooden nickels that have the date like a doubloon every year.
Okay.
And then the third thing is a handcrafted mini version of our flower that year. So this year you'll be seeing little baby lilies, and there's no rules to what those look like. It'll be, sometimes they look exactly like the person's flower, and sometimes they enjoy the variety and make a whole bouquet of different flower colors.
So we're both the balloon collectors, just FYI.
Yeah,
In case you see
absolutely.
us on the right.
Yeah.
We'll get you one.
Do y'all do, I guess, like design parties for the for your signature throws as well as the as your outfits as well, the flowers themselves.
We do. We get together kind of informally. Members will gather at other members' houses or get together to craft or work on the final details of their flowers and so on. It's a lot of fun.
Do y'all do what kind of activities do y'all do besides the designing, obviously, of them outside of the carnival season?
We do a whole lot all year round. We do a lot of family-friendly events. We've done events at the zoo, at the Children's Museum, at Longview House and Gardens, and then at Magnolia Ball as well. So we do events all year round, oftentimes in full fleur, what we call the full costume with the flower. Sometimes we'll do a more dressed-down event where we wear still the stalk, the green stalk, but we'll make flower crowns. Our members are very crafty and they love to make flower crowns as well. So we'll wear those for more dressed-down events like Tone on Tone, which is an art stroll that we do every year, sometimes through the French Quarter, sometimes Magazine Street. So we do those as well.
How many people are in your crew?
35.
Okay.
Typically it's 35 to 40. We kind of keep it small so that the found family that we have can get to know each other. We know each other's spouses and kids and what everyone does for a living, and it makes everyone feel like you're not so alone in a big city.
Well, I mean, as watching you go by, I mean, I've noticed y'all are smaller than usual crew, but it helps with what you're wearing.
It
Because
does.
I can't really see everything if you were a crew of 80. It
Right.
would just be a...
I think the
Yeah.
largest
Garden running
this year, when we're in Iris, we are allowed to bring a fleur for a day. And that can be a friend or a family member, coworker, whatever you choose. It was meant to be so that if you had someone in town, you didn't have to leave them on the street while you went to a parade. And that flower gets to go out and be one of us for the day. So this year, I think we are at 46 for
Oh, wow.
Iris. So that's probably the biggest number you'll see.
Wow. I mean, even still, we're saying that it's a small number, but I mean,
Well,
Still,
smaller
that's-
than like,
yeah,
you
but,
know,
I mean,
80,
still,
100 we see
to have,
a lot of others.
40 ladies who, have the time, the talent, the dedication, etc., to make such beautiful outfits like y'all's. I mean, that that does speak volumes.
Thank you. It's pretty exciting. We don't have, I would say, a handful of members that are actual artists, and the rest of us, they help, or we find our own footing throughout the years of what makes it work. Or if you can't paint, you use rhinestones and lots of glitter, and they all somehow turn out magical.
So Kirk, you kind of mentioned, your lily is blue. Is there, is there a story behind the colors that you chose for your flower? And
Yeah, there is. There usually is. This one, I started with blue because it was my grandmother's favorite color, and she had just passed away. So I painted a mimic of a vase that I had given her that she loved, and it was a blue flower. And then from there, I just kept. The next year, I had the same paint, and because we don't like to waste anything,
Right.
it became that. And here we are, 4 years later. All of my flowers have some sort of blue in them, which is still like a nod to her.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How about yours?
So I did not paint this one myself. I can't take credit. I inherited it from somebody else. But the lily that I put together and painted this year is periwinkle. It's one of my favorite colors. And I guess one of the special features of my lily is that I have a 7-year-old daughter who loves to paint, loves art, wants to be in Mardi Gras herself. So she painted a little butterfly, which I have on the back of my lily.
Oh, that's super
So
special.
we put our own little personal touches on our flowers for sure.
Let's see. One of the big popular things these days is for people to follow crews online. I know that y'all are very active online. Where are those sites that you'd want people to check y'all out at?
Sure. Well, krewedesfleurs.org is our website, and then at Krewe Des Fleurs on Instagram and Facebook. And Madeleine is our PR and marketing chair, so she's probably the person that gets contacted the most and is to thank for such a great following.
Well, thank you. Please make sure when you're following Krewe Des Fleurs, it's DES. Sometimes people forget that, and then there's an S on the end of Fleur as well.
Yeah.
And we love, when we're out doing events, we love taking photos with people. We love interacting with the crowd, and we love it when people post photos and tag us in them. Helps us to collect that and remember those memories.
I know one thing that's very special with y'all, and each crew kind of has it, is I would say their support vehicle behind them.
Right.
Y'all have a very special vehicle behind you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
We do. So back to that, trying to have a small footprint, and what we do differently. We have a trailer that looks like a flower cart. It holds all of our water bottles, and we only carry reusable water bottles. And so do our gardeners. Our gardeners are the helpers that keep us watered, keep us from wilting, all of the things. And then someone rides a tricycle pulling it. So that someone has to be special, and we've got quite a few of them that are dedicated trike riders.
I always thought that was a nice touch at the end because it is like a flower cart.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of floral, flowers on it, but there's also handmade flowers on it. One of our members painted our logo and made the sides look like siding of the house and windows. So we every year we kind of up level one more, but it's still very heavy and very hard to pull with the trike.
You mentioned weight, but you wouldn't think it, but y'all's outfits they can get quite heavy after a while, I'm sure. It's just like when you were a kid, and your parents would make you hold up a bag of rice or whatever, and sure, that first minute holding up that bag of rice, it isn't so bad, but after 30 minutes, you're like, okay, I won't cross the street without permission anymore, or so.
I was always a perfect child.
Oh, sure you were, yes.
I never had that issue.
So do y'all practice, I guess, beforehand? Or, do you find yourself, like, walking around the house with your flood, you know what I mean? Like, just prepare yourself.
No, the best thing that we do is that debut each year where we have a couple of hours of wearing it and trying it out. And we find things like maybe it'll rub somewhere and we have to add padding or move things around so that we can be a little bit easier. But most of these are made of either paper or foam. So they're pretty light. They're just awkward. You can't reach your face.
Yeah, right.
You can't see. Your peripheral vision is pretty much not. And we chose the smallest of the 4 foot wide, 6 foot tall flowers to wear today.
These are the ones we can actually sit in. So.
Yeah.
I like that you went to Costco on the way here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no one even looked at me funny. No one
Perfectly
smiled or
natural.
thought it was unusual. Just regular old Thursday.
It's New Orleans.
Wednesday.
Do each of y'all have a particular parade that's your favorite to march in? You know, I mean, not to discount
No.
all of the parades, obviously, you know.
All of them, but I'll let Madeleine go first.
All of the parades we march in are wonderful. And Cleopatra is so exciting because it's like the real kickoff to Mardi Gras. It's the first time that we're parading in whatever this year's varietal is. Iris is obviously gorgeous, and we get, as Leslie said, we get to walk in front of the captain's float. But I would have to say Orpheus is near and dear to my heart. It's just so exciting. In the nighttime for night parades, our flowers light up, which is just gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
We took some really cool photos last year in front of an Orpheus float with our flowers lit up, and it was just amazing. So Orpheus is really special, and of course walking through the ball at the end is so exciting. So I'd have to say Orpheus.
Okay.
I'd say all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
Orpheus, who doesn't love it?
Right.
Iris, I think, is mine. I think that it's, I like the daytime. You see a lot of children, and you can see the people's faces and how excited they are to see us. And people are asking questions the whole way, and it's everything from a tourist to a business person who just happened to be here and didn't even know it was Mardi Gras, to the family that's celebrating together. It's just magical.
What's the requirements to join y'all, or how can someone join y'all?
So anyone could be a gardener, and we accept those applications online at krewedesfleurs.org.
Okay.
And then from those, after they've served as a gardener, they're welcome to apply, usually in the summer, and that is female identifying person that's over 18.
Okay.
And that's really it. There's no artistic ability or any other requirement.
Okay. I assume, that each of your houses, that if y'all are making new ones, it seems like just about every year, every other year, I can only, do y'all have a small collection of them forming? Or, are you using, you'd mentioned that a lot of times you'll, recycle pieces and, try and, reuse as much as you can. Do y'all still have a collection of them per se?
We do. Leslie definitely does. I think it's your 5th year in the crew. This is only my 2nd year walking. I was also a gardener for a year before that. But like I said, I've inherited, I think, 3 flowers from folks moving away. So yes, I have them all over my walls. And but they're beautiful. Their works of art. I mean, what better to have on your walls?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have all of them, one of each, and I displayed them in my bedroom as art on the wall. So it's white walls with huge flowers all over the place. And this year like I said, some of the members didn't build, and it was kind of for that reason, because we're out of space.
Yeah.
We're trying to come up with, do you go to something smaller that's easier for us to store? Is that really going to make it magical on the route? So there's a fine line to it, but most of us just go all ham with them and have them all over the place. They're hanging in the most ridiculous spots you can imagine.
I can
But we do
imagine,
give them to the new members as well.
I
So
can imagine some of y'all have like a house float going on the inside, maybe.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's pretty insane.
So we know that this year is the lily, and apparently roses were one of the themes at one point. What are some of the other themes that y'all have marched with?
So last year in 2022, we debuted the lotus, which was extraordinary.
Oh, wow.
Extraordinarily beautiful flower with a gorgeous silhouette, and it's two-piece flower, just absolutely beautiful. Other than that, we have the passion flower, which is also a really impressive Very impressive.
That
I think
was
our
60.
largest flower.
That was huge.
The iris.
Bleeding heart, orchid. If I don't say them in
Iris
order, it's absolutely
Right. Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
So it's,
Yeah.
so it's lily, rose, iris, orchid, bleeding heart, passion flower, lotus, and we've done the lily now twice.
Okay.
Kind of revamped, like I said, to up it a little bit and give it a little new life. This one is waterproof,
Yeah.
so we are out, rain or shine, we're there.
Well, I'm sure that also, you'd said that you'd accentuate on it more. Just like with, I guess a sports player. To where the first year, in your rookie year, you may have some rough edges, but
Right.
after 4 or 5 years, you've learned tricks of the trade to make you successful.
Right.
That I can only imagine that through years of creating new flowers that you would come across tricks of the trade that not just the designers but you yourselves with the painting, the glittering, so on and so forth.
With changing the flower, having a new one each year, there's one little piece that we might be able to learn from one to the other, but somehow we imagine something completely different every single time, and we spend months starting from scratch each time. So every once in a while we're able to carry a little piece over. So this year we, like I said, took a step back and redid one so that we could perfect it and learn our lessons.
So you mentioned that typically your flowers have blue in them. That I would say that that's something that you carry over from year to year. Is there something that you have found that you're carrying over year to
Pink.
year?
Pink.
The,
Both of the flowers that I have created so far have some element of pink in it. I think just naturally gravitate toward that color.
okay.
Yeah.
Works well if you keep them all the same. Then when you throw them on the wall, it looks on purpose
Yeah.
and not so much like chaos.
Yeah. One thing that's kind of cool, I don't know if you're planning to ask about it, but we also typically like to walk in Krewe Boo. We love Krewe Boo. It's so much fun. But our members do really neat things with their flowers. We also do something really neat with our cart, where we turn it into Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors, but we turn it into Little Shop of Fleurs. And it's great fun. Our members are super creative.
Yeah, that one we put on a show. We are carnivorous flowers,
Yes.
so we had teeth and blood and try to make ourselves into the scariest carnivorous flower that we can.
Do you all participate in any other holiday parades like that? Like a Jingle or I guess it's the Christmas parade now this year.
This year we did the Norco Christmas Parade, which was a step out of Orleans Parish
Yeah.
for us. They reached out to us. We thought it was kind of a neat idea, and so we did that instead of the downtown parade. We do Boo, like we said, Decadence, and Pride as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to the Norco Christmas parade a couple of times, and yeah, it's a neat little parade.
The people were so thankful. Like everyone normally is waving and trying to get a doubloon or whatever, but every person there was thanking us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it felt really good.
Do y'all do any sort of ball activities or anything like that, either your own or with other crews?
We don't have our own ball.
No, we don't do anything that require. We try to keep everything affordable for our members.
Sure.
So we do things like blush ball,
Yeah.
where we can support another crew, but we don't have anything of our own that, at this point anyway. We have a couple of ideas.
Uh-oh.
So you mentioned trying to keep the cost down. Do y'all have like an annual dues that y'all charge, or is it mostly the the cost of making your costumes?
So we do have annual dues. They're very reasonable.
Okay.
We keep them that way intentionally, and then there's nominal costs, of course, with some of the paints or things that you will need to complete your flower and also your stalk, which is what we call this green core. But very reasonable and very inclusive.
Okay.
And when you think about Mardi Gras being the largest free show on earth, there's a little bit of cost involved to those of us who help to put it on, but we're happy to do it.
I try to keep it to 2 new stock pieces a year.
Oh wow, that's very restrained of you.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with the, that for being the biggest free show in the world, to be an active participant in it, it can add up pretty quickly. We ride in a parade a parade, so we've got the dues to ride plus for throws.
We like to
Yeah.
throw entirely too much, so
Oh yeah.
We go beads, so
But
we're good about that.
just like y'all, one of the things that we're trying to do is I'm trying to eliminate as much of the beads as possible.
That's great.
That I'm switching over to making, like coffee bags and popcorn bags, things like that. That instead of it sitting on the ground and getting picked up by the street sweeper in an hour,
Right.
it'll.
Right. That's something, like she said, from the beginning that we've been very passionate about. I don't know if we mentioned the lily this year. After we've made this costume, we use the remnants of it to make our mini lilies.
Yeah.
So everything we do, we try to make sure that we
Use every inch.
use every
Yeah.
inch, and we've gotten pretty good at it. We've been able to repurpose, reuse, and we repaint, like we were saying, a lot of the flowers instead of give it to someone else and they can repaint it, make it their own. Part of our the beauty of what we do is that each person has put their blood, sweat, and tears into their costume themselves, and so you have ownership in it. It feels really good, and everyone is pretty proud walking down the street.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I noticed that both of you have like a leaf headpiece per se.
We do.
Is that something that each of you designs, or is that something that
No.
the crew itself kind of designs
This,
and gives us like a rite of passage per se?
yeah, this is when you become a real fleur. You get your leaf crown. We have 2 signature costume pieces that kind of keep us looking as one cohesive group, because our paint colors and all can be whatever they want. The leaf crown is designed by Mythical Designs.
Okay.
They're made of leather, and then we have a leaf skirt that each member has as well, and it looks like petals of a flower.
Yeah. Yeah. To see y'all when y'all come down the parade, it's definitely one that you see people pulling out their phones to get pictures of, because it is like a walking museum, or a walking garden, to where there's all of these beautiful flowers coming past you.
Yeah, we call it our magical moving garden.
Yeah, it's in a similar way. You'll see like everybody pop out the camera for the butterflies, or one of those,
Right.
the oysters, or that have the kind of large, kind of real showy outfits, and like, ooh, look at this,
One of the flat paper flower designers, Brian Bush, also walks with us. He wears a big sunshine. I can't use my hands. He wears a big sunshine costume that he made out of paper mache, and his wife is a butterfly. And they usually walk with us for Iris.
Oh, that's real cool.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to see. I don't know how big it is. It's probably 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, I guess what inspired each of you to join your crew?
So I have always wanted to be I was in Krewe in Mandeville,
Okay.
and I loved riding on a float and did that for several years. But I wanted to dance. That was my dream, of dancing on a parade route. I won't say which crew, but I did try out, and it turns out that I can't dance.
Oh, no.
And they were very nice to me, but very politely told me that I couldn't do it. And then I saw Krewe Des Fleurs, and immediately, I don't even think the parade was ended, and I was already emailing, asking how I could be a member. So this is definitely done. I won't do anything else.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to call out that?
No, they're lovely.
Yeah.
They're not wrong. I can't dance.
Don't do that. Maybe they thought you would show them up too much.
They
Maybe it.
told me that I was very nice and had a great personality. Thanks.
Well,
So-
at least they didn't tell you bluntly,
No.
you stink at dancing, or, like.
We would love to have you walk alongside of us quietly, please.
So I'm a newcomer to New Orleans, although I've always loved it. And when I moved down here, I was looking for ways to connect and to make friends, particularly with other females. And I had a friend who's in Krewe Des Fleurs, who's an artist. And she said this amazing, really intimate, small walking crew, but we make our costumes and they're extraordinary. And I was just hooked. I was so interested by the idea. And I can tell you honestly, I found the women to be just wonderful. Just so supportive and engaging and kind. We really do help each other build our flowers and decorate them. I mean, we want each other to be successful, and we lift each other up. And so it's been just such an inclusive, welcoming environment. And also, I'm just a regular person. I just have a regular day job and adult responsibilities. I am not an artist, but I get to pursue my artistic side, which is really fun. It's a great outlet for me.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is true as far as most of our members are not from New Orleans or even Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's that there are not many that know a Fleur. It's someone that saw us on the street, tried to engage, wanted to be a part of it, and became friends or found family, as we said before.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of Mardi Gras to me as well.
Do each of you have, like if you could see the Krewe Des Fleurs do something that you've never done before, that would be the bee's knees for you? Do either of y'all have something like that? Like a dream that you'd love to see y'all do?
That's an interesting
I know mine.
question. I'm going to let you go first.
I would love to be in the Rose Bowl parade.
That would be
Of
awesome.
course.
Yeah.
Like, why are they not
Right,
calling
right,
and
yeah.
asking me right now?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You should.
Yes.
Wow, you're really putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
I should dream bigger, I guess. I certainly have like some ideas of varietals that I would love to see, but yeah, no,
We
just happy to be
can't,
here.
even our members don't know what the flower is for the year until our first meeting. It's kept pretty secret. So she can't tell you what flower she's thinking because it might show up.
No,
and
yeah.
Right.
ruin
No.
the surprise.
So when's that first meeting? You'd said like June or something like that?
Yeah, usually, so our season goes from Ash Wednesday to Mardi Gras Day. And usually in June is when
Yeah.
we have a first in-person meeting. We have events lined up for, I can't even think, we had 18 events last year.
Oh, wow.
So there is something 2 or 3 times a month, there's something going on. But we have a great core group that show up and show out and really enjoy that. And I think that's why we are so close, is because we do things throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
Was it, great for, especially someone like yourself that, new in town to all of a sudden have a support cast, around them all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
We hear that a lot, there's a lot of out of towners that, like, I like these girls, I'm in. And that's how, that's their core group of friends all of a sudden, Yeah, it's interesting how that works. That dynamic is fun to see.
Yeah.
It is. It's hard to explain to someone that hasn't experienced it as well. You know, I have a few work friends, and then the 34 other fleurs. You know, that's pretty much. It does take a lot of time to be in something like this,
Sure.
and we spend a good 6 months, like we said, building a flower, and much less painting, and most of us are just starting with our throws, so we're down to the wire.
Yeah.
And hopefully can pull it off. But we help each other. You know, when the time gets down to the nitty gritty, even on the parade route, somebody might show up and we're duct taping each other together and trying to encourage people to come no matter what. You know, there's no one knows what our flower is supposed to look like. So if you're not finished or didn't glitter it exactly like you wanted, public doesn't know that.
Right.
We just want everyone to be able to participate. So
Well, y'all do a beautiful job. You know, again, you know, y'all are one of those groups that, you know, it's inspiring to see y'all walk through. You know, because of the beauty of the artwork that y'all are doing, with the you know, with your costumes, and you know, it's always fun to see y'all on the parade route for
thank
sure.
you.
Thanks.
We love it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate y'all coming onto the show with us here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. We were honored to be asked.
Yeah,
And thanks for coming in costume. We love that.
yeah, we love
Anytime.
it when
Anytime.
I
we
had
love it when y'all come in costume.
I
And,
had a moment of regret at the very last minute. I told her, I said, I'm just going to go in the dress down costume. I'm going to wear my flower crown. And then I started getting dressed and I said, if I'm going to do it, I better do it right.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
We
good.
might have had to send you back. And then go get a flower.
Yeah.
I'm scared of being turned away at the door.
No, it's always
Yeah,
so
of
fun
course
to
not,
see
yeah.
when guests come in and you know, with their costume, you know, and
Well, we
especially
really get to appreciate them, like, because you know, walking by, it's hard to appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, it's so quick, and you know, it's lovely, but I get to see a lot more detail.
yeah, I'm getting to look at them for 30 minutes and soak in the beauty of them, you
I
know.
think
So
these are the only
Or-
two that you can sit down in. So
yeah,
we had to very carefully select what we wore tonight.
so well, again, thank y'all so much for coming on.
Thank you.
You know, I look forward to seeing y'all out there. And, you know, if you've never been to a parade before, you know, be sure to look out for these lovely ladies. Signing out. We'll see you on the route. Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras.